Okay, I've shared the live. You share it one more time. I'm done sharing for now. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to read Deuteronomy chapter 6 from the scriptures. And one of the reasons I'm reading it is because in the prayer calls, Yeshua has been telling us to keep his commands, to guard his commands. And so let's look at what the scripture says about guarding his commands, something that I've never heard before. You can't find it in the King James Version. So who guards? Who guards God's commands? Chapter 6, verse 1. And this is the command, the laws, and the right rulings, which Yeshua, or Yahuwah, your Elohim has commanded to teach you to do in the land which you are passing over to possess, so that you revere Yahuwah, your Elohim, to guard all the laws of his commands, which I command you, and your sons and your daughters, and your grandsons, you and your sons and your grandsons, all the days of your life, and that your days be prolonged. Verse 3. And you shall hear. That's a command, to hear. O Israel, and shall guard to do that it might be well with you. So to guard his commands are to do them, because it says, you shall guard to do. And you shall increase greatly, as Yahuwah, Elohim of your fathers, has spoken to you, a land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah, our Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And verse 6. And these words which I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk in the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. So, what if the mark of the beast is more subtle, like what you put in your hand, what you choose to put in your hand, and before your eyes? What if you putting the commandment of God before your eyes and in your hands by holding the scriptures and reading them and obeying them is your mark from God? Verse 9. So, what if you're marking yourself that Satan doesn't have to? Because you're doing a really good job all by yourself. With what you're looking at, what you're holding in your hand. What if you're spending all your time with the mark of the beast right now? Verse 9. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. What if you took the scripture and you wrote a verse and you stuck it on the refrigerator, on the mirror in your bathroom? Wouldn't this be putting it on the doorpost? I mean, I guess you could put it over the light switch so that you would have to move it to look at, to flip the light on and off. Or right there at the door. So when you go to leave, you read the instructions right before you leave. Verse 10. And it shall be when Yahuwah your Elohim brings you into the land of which he swore to your fathers, to Abraham and to Isaac and to Jacob, to give you great and good cities which you did not build, and houses filled with all kinds of goods which you did not fill, and wells dug which you did not dig, and vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant, and you shall eat and be satisfied. Be on guard, lest you forget Yahuwah, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. Revere Yahuwah, your Elohim, and serve him, and swear by his name. I think that's the opposite of what's in the King James Version. Revere Yahuwah, your Elohim, and serve him, and swear by his name. Do not go after other mighty ones, the mighty ones of the peoples who are all around you. So that means that Yahuwah is the mighty, the Almighty, right? The Almighty One. But these other mighty ones, do not go after them. Verse 15. For Yahuwah, your Elohim, is a jealous El in your midst, lest the displeasure of Yahuwah, your Elohim, burn against you, then he shall destroy you from the face of the earth. Do not try Elohim, your Elohim, as you tried in Massash. I don't know that location. 17. Diligently guard the commandments of Yahuwah, your Elohim. So again, he's telling us to guard his commands. And his witnesses, and his laws, which he has commanded you. Now, who is his witnesses? That would be the law, the prophets, right? The major and the minor prophets. That would be the writings of the disciples. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul, James. And his laws, which he commanded you. Verse 18. And you shall do what is right and good in the eyes of Yahuwah, that it might be well with you. And you shall go in and possess the good land of which Yahuwah swore to your fathers, to drive out all the enemies from before you, as Yahuwah has spoken. When your son asks you in times to come, saying, what is the meaning of the witnesses and the laws and the right rulings which Yahuwah our Elohim has commanded you? Then you shall say to your son, we were slaves of Pharaoh in Egypt, and Yahuwah brought us out of Egypt with a strong hand. And Yahuwah sent signs and wonders, great and grievous, upon Egypt, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household, before our eyes. And he brought us out from there to bring us in, to give us the land of which he swore to our fathers. And Yahuwah commanded us to do all these laws, to revere Yahuwah our Elohim for our good always, to keep us alive as it is today. And it is righteous for us when we guard to do all the command which Yahuwah our Elohim, and he has commanded us, as he has commanded us. God bless you in the reading of the word.